Firstly, you gotta gather your tools together. I have a collection. I'm also wearing a knee guard because there is a lot of kneeling and it puts a lot of weight on your legs. What I'm doing here is I'm putting weight on the bolt to loosen it because the heat and the pressure causing it to rust and it gets stuck. I do this on both sides of the car. Here, we are going to put this underneath this part where it's reinforced. And to do that, we are going to do this backwards. So we are going to use this part for stability, this part to hit the anchor point. We're going to see where it's going to fit. So as we go into the car, we see a few different anchor points and areas that have the most metal, like this piece right here, could be good, but it's also not great because it's connected to the wheel, so that's not very stable. This hook right here is very reinforced and it's stable, and that allows for the ability to create something stable. This right here is connected to the wheel, so it's not a stable point. So you want to go with the area that are more stable. For example, like here, this is a main beam. This beam is a chassis that goes on throughout the whole car, and this is where I'm gonna put this jack to lift up. And there's a little wire thing that I have, or like a rod that I have, that'll help this process. Attaches here, and then I'm gonna continue turning it till the car comes up. Alright, as I raise the car, you have to make sure that the wheel comes off the ground completely. And you can tell by allowing it to spin. See? So it's suspended on that alone with this crank turning it to raise the car. The load on that is enough to raise the car. It's enough, like, it's a couple thousand pounds, which is enough for this vehicle and only one part of the vehicle. If you had two, you could raise it at the same time, but because I have one, I can only do one. So one wheel at a time will be done. I finished removing the bolts and they come off, and then the wheel comes off, leaving the brake and the rotors exposed. Let's take a closer look. So here we have the wheel off, it comes off. These bolts are the ones that hold it together. And we can see actually that the brake pad is right there. That in there is the brake pad. The red arrow points to the brake pad. The light blue is the brake pad. And that presses pressure. These calipers come together and they squeeze. They squeeze this plate, and that causes friction and heat. And so when this is going, these things press and stops it. That's what causes your car to stop. And there's 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the other side. After I determined that the brakes are fine, I put the tire back on and I tightened the bolts in an X shape to not put any pressure on any one of them. Then I lower the car. And that's how you check the brakes. If the brakes needed replacing, that will be in another video. I hope you enjoyed it.